being asked about it. Who cares? Let them drop dead. This is the whole regime. I mean, it just takes me down. It really, 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 it really took a lot to sit there and listen to this today.
It seems like the spirit of evil is on the rise again, and we're going to talk about that again. I want to go to a sister that you work at the hospital.
Yes, I do.
Now, Val it is, right? Vera work at the hospital. How many years have you been at the hospital, Vera?
29 years.
So she's been at the hospital 29 years. Now, how do you feel?
I feel like Muhlenberg is the pillar of Plainfield.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Vera Harrell. I feel like Muhlenberg is the pillar of Plainfield. We need a hospital, like I told him today. It's too many schools, too many daycares in Plainfield for us not to have a hospital. The satellite emergency room will not do. Satellite emergency room is just for cuts and straights. If you're having a heart attack or a stroke or something, they saying they're having a shuttle, but I don't believe it. They didn't have the shuttle when they closed the baby floor up. They told a lot of lies today. It seemed like they got away with it. And God is not pleased. You might got away, but just like I want all y'all to know, one day gonna have judgment day. Everybody gonna be judged. Y'all wrong. You did wrong. Muhlenberg was done wrong from day one. I'm so upset I can't barely talk. Because we need our hospital. And it seems like nobody don't care. And y'all, Plainfield gonna be affected when you ready to go there. When something happen in their family stuff. And I think Solaris and the state, anybody lose their life, Solaris and the state should be able to be sued because they could have been, I said the word, prevented this. This not have to happen. Somebody could have stopped this. Could have stopped this.
Vera, after 29 years of service, almost 30 years, what is your next move? What have they offered you anything?
No, I wasn't off. No, I wasn't offered anything. I've been so busy fighting. My service pay. I've been there 29 years. For service pay, they offered me 12 weeks of service pay. And number one, that's wrong. 29 years, I deserve more than 3 months of service pay. That ain't right either.
So
another injustice. Another one.
No, trying to get you in another hospital or anything like that, or
no.
Just this is it.
A lot of people left on their own. A lot of people went on their own, got jobs everywhere else.
Okay.
Different hospitals and stuff. Solaris, JFK Hospital. Some of our people are going up there. Okay. But see, I don't need no part-time job. I need a full-time job. I have to pay my bills.
Well, let me ask you this right here. For another venue for the Talent Talker show, perhaps next month, because we're so close at the next month, can you, if you can get some of the people that's in the same condition you in, and perhaps we can just have a forum for you guys, because, I mean, after the servants pay, I believe that you guys would be awarded like to, what do you call it, the unemployment.
Yeah, unemployment.
Yeah, so the idea is there any way that maybe you can get a few people together that bring them up to radio station, just, to...
I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try.
All right, we're going to go to Reverend Branch.
Good afternoon, and let the church say amen.
Amen.
Well, this is truly a dark day. The vote was approved for the recommendation of the closing of Muhlenberg Hospital, but leave the emergency open for 2 years. Leaving an option for license for the next 2 years if they can find someone to operate the hospital. As you know, being a legal liaison for the Plainfield chapter of the NAACP, I also spoke with James Harris, the state president of the NAACP, this afternoon. The NAACP feels that it's an unsatisfactory solution for 5 reasons. Number one, it does not provide comprehensive medical care for people in the Plainfield area. Number two, it leaves hundreds of people unemployed in the middle of a recession.
Sure.
Number three, it puts additional stress on an already stressful city.
That's right.
Number 4, this decision is built upon the state's reduction of municipal aid and educational aid throughout the state of New Jersey. And number 5, in this city, as well as this county, it's a heavily Democratic county.
That's the truth.
And this decision is put in place by a Democratic governor and a Democratic legislation,
Got that right.
controlled by the Democrats. You know, and
Whom I'm surprised at the governor also.
I'm very surprised when I spoke. When I spoke in Trenton, I clearly said that the governor wrote us a bad check, a check that has come back insufficient funds. As you probably just heard my telephone go off, that's James Harris on the telephone now. I'm quite sure that he'll have some comments for me and to continue this conversation with. So I want to apologize for the telephone going off. But as I said, as I spoke in Trenton, the governor literally wrote this community and the state of New Jersey and the urban communities a bad check. A check that has come back insufficient funds because he has closed the hospitals down in several of the urban areas. You know, I wouldn't feel so harsh or so strongly about it if they were closing them down. Why aren't they closing them down in Middlesex County? Why didn't they close JFK down? Why didn't they close down the hospitals in the areas where it's more white populated than in areas where it's mostly black populated?
Well, I think that what we have to do at this point here, this point of challenge, is look for other means of keeping the hospitals and just being aware of what's going on in our community. I think that if anything come out of this here, we know that we have to wake up in our community and know what's going on and stay alert. Go ahead, Deborah.
I was told this was going to happen. Everybody has been warned this was going to happen, and it's amazing how shocked we still are, even though they didn't even pretend to not do this. They announced in the newspapers they were going to do this. I mean, they've been telling us straight out. The commissioner herself has repeatedly, from her own mouth, said that Muhlenberg must close to strengthen JFK. So what we have to look at now is we are people that never got over on Plan A. We are not the Plan A people. We have to have Plan B, C, D, E, F. You don't know what it might take for us, for our ancestors to have gotten this far.
Sure.
It wasn't Plan A. They got them through. So we have to take what we have left, which is we have a building. There probably won't be much left in it, but we have a building, and you'll never build another hospital again with construction costs in New Jersey.
Sure.
So we need to hold on to that and try to rebuild the infrastructure we need with some other partners that actually care about us.
And let me say this right here, Deborah, and I think also that we need to really get more involved in the functions of what's going on in our community. We really need to wake up on that. And I hope that situations like this situation at hand would wake most of us up, because we live in our own community like we're from the moon somewhere. We're not in touch. You can always, even in a beautiful city like this, walk out of someone's house that they own. The house costs $300,000, and there's a piece of trash right there in the street near their property, and it don't bother them. I mean, that should bother. They should be highly offended that your house cost as much and there's trash or cigarette butts or whatever the case may be. So we this here will definitely be a wake up call to us get more involved in what's going on in our community. Because we don't do that right there. Sister Rebecca, you have something else to say?
As I said, I'm still concerned what is going to be the next step with all the children that we have in Plainfield, the high schools, the daycare.